Good morning and welcome to our live crafting session this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. I appreciate you joining. If you're watching live, do take the time to say hi. It's always nice to acknowledge who's with us, and if you have any queries or questions, then just pop those in the comment section. If you're watching on replay, whether that is on YouTube or on Facebook, again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to pop them in the comment section. Good morning to you, Catherine. So it's a Monday morning, and that's a time for a new stamp set of the week. And this week our stamp set, as you can see here, is called Let's Go Shopping, and it features this pretty little shop front. You've got 2 layers, but you can add more layers if you wish. And then you've got lots of different things that you can put either in the windows or separately. So we've got some shelves with books on, we've got some bakery items. For the outside we have a pot and an A-board. We've got cafe, table and chairs, and then some more ornamental pieces here that could go at the top. And then a whole series of sentiments that go with it. So good luck. We've got little bakery, cafe and books that can go in the window. Happy birthday. Wish you were here. Hello, let's get together. And then we've got this little border here that you could put the name onto. And then these here, which are lights that can either sit here in these windows or they could be hanging from this section here. Good morning, Brenda. So this was the card that I created as our sample for coffee and cards, and this is what we're doing this afternoon in Toaster and tomorrow in Brackley. This is one of the things. So along with this stamp set there are also papers. So one of the options is to cut elements out of the papers for coffee and card, and I'll be introducing those to you later in the week. So for this particular one I've gone portrait, and I've just stamped the base and one story, and I've made this into a little bookshop with some pots on either side. And then this element here where I've added the foliage actually comes from Botanical Layers, and it's this one here, if you can see, and I turn this upside down to stamp it, and it just frames that perfectly. You can also use this one. It needs to be in keeping with the size, really. That's the key thing. So I'm going to create another one of these. This time it's going to be landscape, and I'm going to make it into a bakery. Hi Glenda, I hope that you are well. So this is in our annual catalogue. The stamps are £23, and there are some fantastic dies that goes with this that not only cut out these elements but also cut out things like a lamppost and a bench, which you can use for lots of other things. So I'll be showing you that also later in the week. The bundle price together is £45, and we do have our offer. If you're watching in July, then any orders over £45 will get you a £4.50 bonus voucher to spend in August, so effectively an extra 10%. Okay, let's grab some blocks and get stamping. So this is the base, and then the top, which you can layer up as many as you want. What else do I need? I want the bakery items. like so. Oh, it's got a bit of ink on it. And let me grab, I think I've got the pot and I've got the little A board as well. So I'm going to use those. Let me just grab a smaller pot. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. It's Monday morning, of course, here. And we did have the British Grand Prix Formula 1 just up the road over the weekend. Okay, so I've got that little pot and my little A board. Let's see how we get on with those, and I'm just going to use some blends pens for colouring in, and I haven't decided what sentiment I'm going to put on yet, but I have brought across Sentimental Park. It's got lots of fun sentiments on it as well. That dear friend is rather cute, and also the thanks. And then for my foliage, I'm using this one here, the Botanical Layers. And just pop that on here, like so. Okay, let's get cracking. So I'm going to use these layers here, I've decided. So I've got, this is what I use for the note card. So this is 3 by 4.5 inches. This is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. But I'm going to layer it onto, and I'm going to do it in landscape, this Azure Afternoon layer, like so. I might change the colour, but that's the basic layout. So I'm just going to start with that. So let's stamp our building first, and I'm going to put that in the middle. Here's the other sample that I did with the bookshop. Sorry about the reflection. I have got the lights on, although it's probably light enough. And what am I going to use? Probably Pebbled Path, I think, for my buildings. But you could use basic grey, you could use black, you could use espresso, you could use any of the browns if you wanted to, depending on what colour you wanted to colour your building in. Right, time for the glasses to come off so I can see what I'm doing. And so I'm going to have this fairly down to the bottom, just so I've got enough space. And I haven't put a mat underneath, but my table is fairly flat. There we go, so that's the base. Just lift that up so you can see it. There we go. And let's add Story Above. And so this is just going to sit on top. Oh, it's just going to make it. I have to bring it down a little bit so that it fits. There we go. A little bit close, isn't it? But it'll do the job. Right, let's add a pot to the right, like so, and the A-frame with a little sign to the left, although I could put 2 pots and an A-frame, but never mind. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use a blending brush for the top and the sides. Let's bring this in and add in our foliage. before we do any more colouring. So I'm using this one here, upside down. This is just so pretty, and I have got Granny Apple Green, and I'm just wondering that I might actually do some sky first. So I've got Azure Afternoon, so I'm just going to add this in, only because I don't want it to move too much ink around once I've stamped the foliage. So the foliage can go on top of this. So I'm not bothering to mask off, I'm just using the edge of my blending brush. Go down to the bottom. Same on this side. And because I'm right-handed, I'm turning it round and coming in from the right. So I hope everybody is keeping well. I managed to design all of my class in a box yesterday, and I'm really pleased. The only problem is I can't narrow down the cards, so you might end up with all of them, although some of them are similar, they're just using some different backings. So yeah. Okay, so there's my edges there. Tiny little bit across the top. Okay. Now I'm going to add our tree foliage using, as I say, this one here from Botanical Layers, sorry. Textured Florals was what I used last week. So I'm just going to come in from the top. This is quite handy because it's got one longer piece that you can use. So I just want it to frame our picture. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'll do the same here. I'm just coming in at different angles. I can use this little bit as well. Like so. There we are. Okay, and I am going to add a little bit of green across the bottom. So I'm going to do that first. And what I might do, if I could see a post-it note, I would use one. Just take this piece here. There we go. So just a small amount on there. Just really to ground this at the bottom. And the only reason I'm using this little bit of masking is so it doesn't go all over the building, really. That's a little bit more. There we go. There we go. It's only a very small amount. but hopefully enough just to ground it. You could also use some grey or brown. There we go. Okay, I'll turn this over. There we are, then you can see that a little bit better. Okay, so let's put our bakery items in here. And I'll use the pebbled path again. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this on here so we can see it. So it's got some little pastries and it's got a longer piece at the bottom. So I'm wondering if I can fit that longer piece at the bottom of here. There we go. There we are. And then we're going to have the little bakery sign across the top. Obviously it could be a cafe as well. We've got the tables and chairs, but you could have cafe in there and they've got the items, but let's put bakery on. Bakery. And then it's just a case of doing some colouring in with our blends pens. So there's bakery. That's it. I'm hoping you can see that okay. Right, so just some straightforward colouring in. Let's do the pot first, that's nice and easy. Let's see, I've got Cajun Craze, that's always a good one. It's a good terracotta colour. Cinnamon Cider would also work. I know that's a retired colour, but I've still got the blends pen for it. Yeah. So this is light Cinnamon Cider. But obviously it doesn't have to be terracotta coloured, you can have it to match the bakery sign. There we go, I'm just going to dot that in to give it a little bit of light and shade. And let's see, I'm thinking what am I thinking? Trying to work out what colour I'm going to do that. Hi Tracy. So just going to colour in this window frame. And I think I would probably use crumb cake for the building, but I was thinking this would look pretty in a pale pink or something as well. Let's do the A-frame the same. There we go. Right, got to colour in the things as well. Let's quickly do the building. So I've got dark and light crumb cake, no idea how much is in any of these. So it's going to come in from the left. Same here, and then I'll just use the light to go over the rest. So it's definitely more dull. It was very variable weather yesterday, that was for sure. Little steps up there. Okay, so that is dark crumb cake. Better do that. To the top. And then it's that light there, and then the rest is going to be light. There we go. It's definitely running low. What have I got here? That's another dark one. There we go. So what I've been doing is looking at my stamp set to see what else you could have in these windows. So it needs something fairly small, obviously, to fit in there. So I'm looking for small cats or dogs that could be, you know, looking out the window. It doesn't necessarily need to be a shop. You could cover this bit over so it was a house. Obviously it works perfectly as a shop. So we have, as well as the stamp set, there are dies, as I mentioned earlier, with some cute accessories. And then we have the papers as well, and the papers have got bakery items. There's a sheet there with books and things. So there's much more in this end. So you definitely need to look and see what else you could match with this. So if anybody spots anything, that would be good. Okay, I'm going to do some more finishing of this colouring later, otherwise it gets a bit monotonous for you. Let's just put the dark on here. So. Really is the last of that. Okay. Right, I need to decide on a colour for my front door, but let's just colour in a few of these cakes and whatever they are. Let's see what we've got. Pale papaya for our little French sticks. Asian craze for that. I'd have some pink icing on something. And a red cherry on the top. There we go. I'll bring this up to the screen because I appreciate it's a little way away from what you can see. Let me bring this up so you can see what we've done so far. There it is. Got a bit of lemon here. Could be a lemon sponge. This one. Okay, and then these little pastries at the bottom. Let's see. Just grab one of our neutrals. There we go. Okay. Let's make this. Right, we're getting there. So, sorry, it's a fair bit of colouring in. This is dark granny apple green. And then I've got a light one. Just to give it a little bit of light and shade. And then we've got our sign. I might leave the sign like that. Let's make this darker behind. That. And maybe I will have, so I've done this, so my door really needs to match that, doesn't it? I was thinking of a bright blue door, but a door really does need to match that. So this is light cinnamon cider. It's a good wood colour, but you could use any other of the browns. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of blue for the windows, just to make it look like glass reflecting. There we go. And could have a blue letterbox. Right. Let's try this one. Dark crumb cake. Right, so I'm just going to use a light blue, so pool party, balmy blue, really anything like that. And I'm just going to come in at an angle. Oh, the size of this, just got an idea. In centimetres, or do you mean this, the window? I can give you both anyway. So, including the steps, it is 5 point, well, it'll be this width, won't it? 6 centimetres width, and then the single layer is 4.8, and the additional layer is 2.5. So 6, 4.8, 2.5. Hope that helps. So I'm just doing that at a bit of an angle. Not sure that you can see it. And do the same here. And I've decided that although I did this one clear, of course you wouldn't be able to see through the building, so I need to make that darker behind. So just fitting in a little bit of that, like so, and remember that will lighten up. So just a small amount like that, and then I need to make these darker behind, so I'm thinking about light grey granite. And to do with the dark grey granite, it is. And I'm just going to blend those in together. Oh, thanks Brenda, do take care. Hopefully catch up with you soon. So I've got dark on one side, light on the other, and then I'm just going to use my colour lifter in between, if I can see it. There it is. And the secret with the colour lifter is to apply a little, let it do its work, and then go back if you need to. Okay, I'm happy with that. I haven't put a sentiment on, mind you. Okay, so that's going to be my layer, and I might abandon this whole as your afternoon idea because I haven't got any Azure Afternoon in there. I could pick up some of this brown. Just thinking I need to put something on that sign. Balmy blue, yes, that's not a bad idea. Or I could pick up granny apple green as well. That would work. Let's see what I have in my selection here. I've got the mint macaron. This is balmy blue. I'm just wondering if pool party. I'm going to try a granny apple, and I'll cut a pool party. Right, let's have a look, see. So let me affix this onto there first, because I like that combination. Hi Linda. Glad you're back safe and sound. So just centralise that on there. Almost. So that's balmy blue. That's actually mint macaron. This is pool party. Quite like that. And granny apple. I'm favouring this one, I think. Okay, so what you could do, well, there's two things you could do. Is one, you could put it straight onto here, but you could carry round some of the blue and some of the foliage. Catherine thinks maybe granny apple. Or pool party, yeah. I'm thinking pool party. Like so. So I've got a white base card. This measures 1/2 centimetre smaller all the way around. So this is 10 centimetres by 14.35. Like so. And then this is sized actually for a note card, but I just wanted a bigger border around the edge, but I could have done it on a larger piece. And I'm just going to put that flat, like so. Just wondering whether to have it slightly high. and then I could stamp a message under there. I've got "Let's Get Together." See whether that would fit. It might be too big. I think what I'm going to do is stamp it on a little piece of white and then just pop it on, see what it looks like. And we're done. Let's get a small piece of white. Thank you, Glenda. Sorry it took longer than normal. So I have got the cards for our class in the box to share, but I think I've gone on long enough now, so I'll do a separate live later on today. Trim that. I can't decide where to put it. Oh, that works quite nicely. Without cutting too many, covering up too many things, isn't it? Or even just there. So I'll put it there so it lines up with the building, and I'll pop it up on some dimensionals. And I've got the mini ones here, which is perfect, and I'm just going to put them on the bottom section. Because I've got a lip there where the other card layer is. That's it. And we're done finally. Time for coffee. There we go, finished. Whew. So I hope you like it. That's our bakery scene. This is our bookshop, and then the other one you've got that's included is the cafe, and that's got the little table and chairs. It's a shame that they don't extend further, so you could have had the table and chairs outside, but there you go. I suppose I could draw legs, or not. So thank you so much everybody. So this is the start of our new hashtag stamp set of the week. So I hope you enjoy the week's cards. As I say, there's lots of fun, there's lots of great dies that go with this, and the papers are really fun as well. So I hope you're able to join me later in the week, and if not, you'll be able to watch on catch up or replay. And I will pop on live later and show the class in a box design, so I hope you're able to join me for that at some point. Thank you so much, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for your company. If you have any questions or queries, don't forget, just pop it in the comments section, and I will answer that and get back to you. Thank you so much. Do take care. Bye for now.